Good morning. Well, in Canada, in Europe, as a matter of fact, all over the world, there's a new catchword, diversity. And that is being used ad nauseum, being used to the point of it being nauseating. Listen to any political leader, listen to any sociologist, listen to any community leader, and each one of them says and sings praises in the name of diversity. But tell me, have you ever found real diversity? Diversity means acceptance. Diversity means equal treatment. Diversity means acceptance of the ideas and the cultures and essentially the names. Otherwise, all talk of diversity is just futile. The political leaders might swear by it, but then by that swearing, by that assertion, by that averment, these political leaders are pulling wool on your eyes. Have you ever tried for a job? You spend thousands of hours, hundreds of hours, look at the job listing, and then finally you come across a dream job, a perfect job for you. You've got the qualifications, you've got the experience, you've got the soft skills that the company seeks. And you think that all you have to do is to send your resume and wait for a phone or an email or a letter for the call. A week goes by, you hear nothing. Another month goes by, still nothing. Then you probably feel that they have found somebody more qualified than you. But then this story is repeated again and again. You go over resume with a fine-tooth comb. There must be something that's putting off the recruiters. Is there a typo? Do your hobbies make sense, or do they make you feel good, dull? It turns out that the reality is your name. Your name doesn't gel with them. Recently, the Ryerson University and the Toronto University did a research. This is a different research from the same one conducted earlier in 2011. They sent out 13,000 fake resumes to over 3,000 jobs. And it was found that the people with the Chinese names, with Indian names, and with Pakistani names were 28% less likely to get an interview than the fictitious candidates with the same name resume, but with English-sounding names. Now imagine two names. One is Smith Brown, the other is Moin Siddiqui, or Ram Krishan, or Who Say Who. And the first one gets an interview because of his name, which is anglicized. The other three are not even called for an interview. Resumes are the same, absolutely photocopied. So, and in many times, the situation is still worse. For example, if you have an Asian name but you have a foreign qualification, it was found that the employers between 35% to 60%, depending if it's a large firm, 35%, if it's a small firm, 60%, are less likely to call that candidate for interview. They think that an Asian who has spent his time and energy in a foreign country earning qualification must have something shady to hide. That's so stupid. But that's a fact. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it on the basis of the research done for 6 years. It started in 2011, finished in 2017, and ultimately they found that if you have an Indian name or a Pakistani name, a Chinese name or a Philippines name, a Korean name or a Japanese name, you are less likely to be called for an interview, and the likelihood is 28%. Now, this is a familiar story, and it's all over the world. It's not only in Canada. It's all over Europe. It's all over North America. In all the English-speaking countries, and the French-speaking countries, and the German-speaking countries. In all the white countries, to be more precise, let me be brutally frank. Last year, the French government did a similar study, and it was found that the French employers were not likely to call North African sounding names. Now, the difference is the colonization powers of Britain don't like the Asian names. The colonies of North Africa were that of France, so France doesn't like North American names. Then another study was done in England. It was an all-parliamentary study, and it found that the women who whitened their name or made them sound more British had only to send half as many applications to be called for interview when compared with those people who did not anglicize their name. You are Harjeet and you make it to Harry, you will be called for an interview. This is absolutely ridiculous. Just now, a friend has written that it's not only in the jobs, but subcontracting and contracting. You are a contractor. You will not get a contract simply because you happen to have a name which is not English sounding, not brown, white enough. So the process of whitening has got to be there. Now, I fully agree with Mr. Sharma, who has made this comment. And he is absolutely right. So right from the jobs to the fact that you have to do something, even when it is in their benefit, the role of diversity is negative. So if it's all pervasive, what's the way out? There is absolutely no way out for the simple reason. It's a mindset, and the mindsets have not changed. Rather, the mindsets are changing in a negative way. Somebody said, let's educate recruiters so that they know it. But you can, after educating even, we found that that had no impact. And the employers continuously engage in discriminatory behavior. And this is done consciously and many times unconsciously. And this is the study again done by Marian Bertrand on behalf of KPMG. It's important to see that the people who are hiring do not have a bias, but they have it. So what they did was that when the British Prime Minister David Cameron, he was tired of this, he said, no, we should have a diversity reflected in the jobs. So he said, force the companies to spit out the names and identifying features in the resume. So then when you send the resume, your name is blackened out. And some big companies like HSBC, KPMG, Deloitte, for example, implemented, and they called this the name-blind recruitment in an attempt to stamp out that discrimination. Now, what happens in this? The moment you come for an interview, okay, the name is blanked out, based solely on your qualifications, you are called for an interview. You reach there, full of high hopes. You are called in face to face, and the recruiter has a mild electric shock looking at your face, which is distinctly non-white. So, back to square one. Once the candidate makes to face-to-face interview conscious, and many times deliberate bias rears up its ugly head. Now, I had talked of Canada and England and France. Even in Sweden, a study was done and it found there was no increase in the rate in which ethnic minority candidates were hired even after the use of anonymous resumes. So, one effective resolution is that force the companies, ethnically diverse companies, to hire them. But you can't do it. It's a free economy. You can have quota system. You can say, okay, 50% of the workforce shall be ethnically different. But is that not sacrificing merit? Quite possible the white might be more qualified for a job. So the result would be the same what has happened in India, where the reservations have driven out the capable people. You see, you have got to ensure and let people know, and this is amazing, that the reality is that ethnically diverse companies perform 35% better than non-diverse companies. So diversity is useful. The interacting of the cultures and the capabilities, the genetic codes mingling and intermingling in the work only help them. But as a matter of fact, these companies have to be told that by rejecting diversity candidates, by rejecting ethnically different candidates, they are shooting themselves in the foot because they're losing the opportunity to perform better. Now, every business, every enterprise, the main purpose is profit. And for the sake of profit, they'll sell their mother-in-law. I'm being frank. They may hate you, but if they know that your profitability is going to increase 35%, they'll say, okay, come along. There's a saying in Rajasthan that you don't kick out a milch cow, a cow which gives milk. You only kick out a cow which does not give milk. So these companies have to be informed that ethnically diverse workforce would enhance their profitability, and that would ensure employment of ethnically diverse people. But the biggest mountain, the Mount Everest that has to be crossed over, is the mindsets of the people. They have to be informed. You know, everybody talks, oh, it's great to have you. And then they keep shut. They close up like clams. But to show off that they are interested in diversity, what they do is they have a token presence of some people. And many times they hire idiots, dummies, because their idiots would not object to anything. I know a big company, big consulting company, I will not like to name recruited an Indian as a director, and he is now a diplomatic member of Government of Canada. Absolutely useless guy, but he was selected only for the sake of window showing that here we believe in diversity, not for the purpose that he could perform better. So the reality of the fact is, the situation is that all this drum beating and chest beating by the political leaders and the community leaders who cry hoarse in the name of diversity are doing it for their personal benefit, for their personal progress, for their personal agenda. Somebody starts diversity city and gets to be a senator. Well, no harm in that. If you use that, you can use a crutch to advance your career, do it. But then don't mislead hundreds and thousands of the people by saying that diversity is our strength and we believe in diversity, when reality you do not. You use diversity as a means to enhance your vote bank for the political leaders, to enhance your hold on the community for the community leaders, but you do not do it to enhance the economic capability of the community. Until that is done, all this talk of diversity is futile. It is in fact a misleading talk. Let's say it and let's accept it. Okay, we are diverse. We have diverse areas of people. We have diverse communities. But they could be our strength. Not that they are our strength. They could be our strength. But we are not sensible enough to make use of that strength. If they have the courage to say so, 50% of the problem will be solved, because they'll have realized the reality. They would have accepted the reality. And the people at the receiving end, those people who want jobs, would not be groping in the dark. They'll know it and they'll work harder to overcome. So the resumes which are at par with the whites would outperform the others. And that would be the dawn of real equality for them. Otherwise, all talk is just all sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thank you.